friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk about what I would love to read for the month of June. Okay, so it's been a long time coming. This series has been on my TBR for quite a while, but I've been too hesitant and afraid to get into it because it is fantasy. And I normally steer away from fantasy, not because I don't like it, but because the world building and the politics and all that comes with a very amazing fantasy story is typically not something I gravitate towards because there's just too much unknown language, too much world building, and the books are typically very long. However, that doesn't mean that I don't want to push myself out of my own comfort zone. So it has come to that time where, yes, I will try to read this series, and that is the famous Acolyte series. These 5 beautiful books sitting here that have been hyped for a long time, and I feel like I'm late to the game, but better late than never. I'm super excited to read these. I hope I get through these this month because I just feel like it's time. It's time to just jump in and allow these books to take me where it wants to take me. All right, there you have it. That's the end of this video. I will be reading this series and that's about it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Aside from that series, I actually have 4 more books on my list, and I actually had the hubby pick one for me to make it a little fun. So let's talk about that. Now, I know what you're gonna say. This is a very ridiculous, hefty TBR list for me. Yes, I know that. And do I normally read my books from my TBR? No, I do not. But I strive to read them, and I really want to stick to them this month. Because my reading pace is really good right now and I'm reading much faster, I feel like I can accomplish this, if not almost accomplish reading most of these books. Before we talk about the rest of the books on my TBR, I want to talk about these books. Like, I have no idea what these books are about. I know that they're very hyped. I know that everybody has loved them. I know it has a very strong fantasy romance element. So I'm there. It's not just politics and it's not just world building, but you also get romance. So I feel like this is the perfect fantasy to jump into, or at least fantasy series to jump into. Even though there's other series on my bookshelves that I could start that are just duets or trilogies, I feel like I need to jump in with something like this. All I know about this book really is that a seductive, breathtaking book that blends romance, adventure, and fairy lore into an unforgettable read. That's really all I need to know. Going into this, I don't want to read much about it. I just want to escape in this world and just go for the ride. I just want to dig into these books and just get out of my comfort zone and push myself to read these because I know I want to read these. My fear of being in a book slump or not understanding most of the books is what is stopping me, but it's the time, guys. It is that time to finally just do it. Next up, I want to read Icebreakers, and this is my only romance in this stack. I have a literary fiction and I have a thriller and a mystery in there too. So a little bit of everything in case I have to read the first book in the Acolyte series, take a break, and then I have other books that I could read in between just so I don't hit a reading slump. Especially me, I'm a beginner fantasy reader. I'm not a pro, so it's gonna take me a while to understand the world and the characters and everything about those books. My hubby actually picked this one, The Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and I'm very excited because this has been on my TBR for a while. It was hyped a while ago, and again, it's one of those books that I feel like I should have read a long time ago. And the best part is that it is very steamy and it's just right up my alley because I've heard really great things about it. And all I know is that this is a hockey romance, reverse romance, meaning she is actually the grumpy one and he is the golden retriever sunshine one. So I'm very excited to read this. And I also filmed a little clip of my husband picking out this book, which is very hilarious. So without further ado, let's roll that clip. All right, are you ready to pick my book of your choosing?
Yeah, you better read it.
Okay, you can pick out of all of these shelves one book, and if it's part of a series, I'll let you know.
Are these the rom-coms?
That's my romance section.
That's the one I want.
Of course you do.
You've already read The Hating Game?
Yep.
Hockey one?
Is that your final pick?
The Stanley Cup is coming up.
Is that your final answer?
This is hockey season. And it says Anastasia Allen has worked her entire life for a shot at the Team USA.
Okay. Why'd you pick it?
Because it's a rom-com. Because I know that you get really excited when there's a back and forth between the characters usually.
Oh.
And when it gets steamy,
You get lucky.
You know.
So that's actually a really good pick because that's one of, I've heard that book is actually super steamy. So thank you.
I'm excited.
The next book on my list, which is a very beautiful cover, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's also a newer book, and that is no other than Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. I mean, look at this beautiful cover. Just admire how beautiful and summery and glossy it is. I love it so much. And all I know about this is that this is a literary fiction about women who happen to live in Manhattan, and they're very rich and a lot of drama goes on. I've heard that this is kind of compared to like The Housewives, but there's a lesson to be learned. So I'm all about it. I'm all about a juicy story about rich people who live in a ritzy area in Manhattan. Like, I can't wait to read this. A cancel all plans kind of book, utterly addicting, be-hearted, and affecting. Pineapple Street lets us into an outrageous world of generational wealth and privilege. That's all I really need to know. I'm excited. I know it does follow a group of women and they all are wealthy and they live in Manhattan, and I'm just excited. Next up, I have two thriller mysteries, and the first one I can't wait to read and I'm really excited to read is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I love Taylor Adams. I've only read one book from him, but I know that I love his books so much. I love his thrillers so much. He wrote No Exit, and last year I read that book and I absolutely loved it. I talk about it all the time. I gave it a 5-star, and this is no different. Taylor Adams is known to basically write his thrillers in a span of a day. A lot goes on. It's fast paced. There's plot twists. There's just so many packed in his thrillers that I really, really enjoy. And this story follows Emma, and she's actually house sitting in a secluded beach cottage or beach house in the middle of nowhere. She has a neighbor across the way and they send messages to each other back and forth. That's how they communicate. During this time, he recommends a book to her. She reads it and she absolutely hates the book so much that she decides to write a brutal 1-star review about the book. And then the author of the story reaches out to her and tells her, you have no idea what this is going to do to my career. You need to take down that 1-star review because it's going to ruin my career. And she's like, absolutely not. I spend X amount of hours reading this miserably. It's staying there. And so things get horrific from there. And I'm just so excited because it is about a writer, it's about an author, it's about a book review, it's about a book. Anything like that, I'm gonna eat it up. And also it's Taylor Adams. To me, his thrillers are really good. So I feel like I can't go wrong. I've also heard really great things about it from the people that actually have already read it. So I'm excited to get to this one. And the last book on my list is The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. And this has been on my TBR for a while. I can't wait to read it because I know that it has to do with a girl who is a manager in this renovated hotel. Something happened in that hotel years ago. I think it burned down or something like that. And there is known to be a ghost lurking its premises. So I'm super excited because it does take place in Nantucket. It has very summery vibes. I love the cover so much. I feel like it's going to be a good time. I am a little hesitant only because I did read her 28 Summers book and I didn't like it. I don't know if it's the way she writes her books. I think the way she writes her books is fine. I just didn't like how that book ended. I hope Ellen Hildebrand is not known to like put all these characters in a book and then there's no happy ending or then there's a tragic ending. Like, I know I shouldn't just base her writing style based off of one book, based on the ending I did not like. She is known to be the beach read queen, so I'm excited to get to this one. And there you have it, friends. Those are the books that I would like to get to and read in the month of June. I hope I stick to my TBR because my TBR actually does seem very exciting to me this month because there's a little bit of everything. There's romance fantasy, there's a contemporary romance, there's a literary fiction, there's a thriller, there's a mystery. There's a little bit of everything for me not to want to actually stick to my TBR. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more of me, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!